Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be looking ahead towards Barcelona's midweek game against Getafe, against Bordelas Getafe. And then as well, we're going to be continuing to talk about that goalkeeping situation because there is one name that is gaining strength, in Barcelona's radar. And we're going to be talking about him. But guys, before I get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video. All right, guys, let's first look ahead and let's talk about Hansi Flick's pre his press conference before the match against Getafe, which is going to be a very, very tough test. He says, we will have to do things differently. Every game is different, and we will have to adapt to the game plan. We hope to continue it with tomorrow. And tomorrow's match is going to be very, very difficult. Getafe, they're one of the La Liga's most physical teams. They're a team that likes to defend very deep as well, commit a lot of fouls. And it's going to be a very, very tough opponent to play against. And the first goal is going to be key. If Getafe, they do get the first goal, it's just going to make things more difficult, parking the bus, and just defending deeper and deeper in the pitch. And so that's why the first goal is so important. And later on, we're going to be talking about, hey, what lineup could Hansi Flick potentially field for tomorrow's match against Getafe? Flick, he talks about signing a new goalkeeper, which we are going to talk about later in the video. He says, first of all, Iñaki is doing very well. He is very professional. It is always difficult for a second goalkeeper, but he is ready to play. We trust him, but we have to talk about it. And so Hansi Flick pointing that there is going to be a meeting, and this is reported by other media outlets. There is going to be a meeting later today in which Barcelona, they are going to discuss what they're going to do in regards to the goalkeeping situation. Are they going to go sign a goalkeeper? Are they going to trust Iñaki Peña? That's something that Barcelona, they are going to have to figure out. But we are going to be talking about that. So we're going to talk about that. Now, Flick, he talks about Robert Lewandowski. He says, I'm not surprised by his performance. He scored 6 goals, and we know he can do very well. He needs players to accompany him so he can score. That's what we want. We want to play well for the fans. We're coming home, and we're really looking forward to playing for the fans. And Robert Lewandowski under Hansi Flick has, been reborn. He's received a breath of fresh air, and his performances have been much improved since last season under Xavi. And if Barcelona, they are to have success this season, then Lewandowski needs to be that leader in the attack alongside your Lamine Yamal and your raphinhas. And we're going to need him at his best, scoring those goals. And looking at the start of the season from Lewandowski, could he win the Pichichi Award at the end of the season? 2 Pichichi Awards in 3 seasons. That's not bad for what is going to be a 36-year-old striker. But Hansi Flick continues on. He talks about Lamine Yamal, and this is very, very interesting. But he says this: we have all the data on the players. He doesn't need to rest at the moment. We'll look at it, but I don't think he needs to rest tomorrow. We have to start well tomorrow and start with a great team. Lamine has been doing incredible this season. We have to continue with this performance. As I said in the previous press conference, it is important to look after these types of players. At the moment, it is not a refereeing problem. He got a yellow card, and that is fine. We want to look after him. He is incredible with the ball. We have to look at his situation carefully and see what the referees do about it. And, Hansi Flick, he's combined, that resting and that rotations with the fact that when we played against Getafe, and especially Bordelas at the Getafe, which is very physical. They like to commit a lot of fouls, and we have to protect Lamine Yamal, who is a very, very young player and who's already receiving, that, VIP treatment, and that treatment from the opposition fans as well, who are looking to commit fouls, who are looking to bring him down. And so, the journalists, they asked him about this question. And it's interesting that Hansi Flick is not going to be resting Lamine Yamal. But potentially Lamine Yamal could be rested in the last 15 to 20 minutes. He wants to start strong, and it's better to start strong, get a couple goals, and then when Barcelona are leading the game and they're comfortable, then potentially sub them out. I think that's what Hansi Flick is going at. But if the data says that Lamine Yamal doesn't need a rest, then I trust Hansi Flick and his coaching staff. But let me know your guys' thoughts in regards to that. Should Lamine Yamal receive a rest in tomorrow's match against Getafe? Hansi Flick, he continues on. He says, we analyzed the game against Villarreal, and there are many things that need to be improved. We haven't reached the end of the road yet. We can always do better. And I like this from Hansi Flick because Barcelona, in that match against Villarreal, we weren't perfect. Barcelona, they were dominant. We had a comfortable scoreline 5-1, but Villarreal made things very, very difficult. And if their offside runs were timed a little bit better, then Barcelona, they could have suffered and they could have conceded a couple more goals. You're playing with a high line, and with that high line comes high risk. And so with our key players coming back, Araujo, Gavi, Frankie Young, etc., Barcelona, they are going to be improving. And I like that Hansi Flick knows that and says, hey, we are not the finished article yet. We still have a lot of work to be done, even though we're absolutely flying in La Liga. Hansi Flick now talks about rotations. He says we're thinking about the same about some rotations, but Koundé is in top form. Koundé, absolute beast, man. Like even after those games, and he goes to the gym and does some recovery work and does some extra work. And Koundé is an absolute monster in that. And Koundé is arguably one of the best right backs in the world, just consistently good and showing his best level in the Barcelona jersey. And what a signing he is. Hansi Flick, he says, I have to talk to Inigo tomorrow. And so Hansi Flick potentially, pointing that Inigo Martinez could be a rotation tomorrow. And if, Inigo is rested tomorrow, could we potentially see Hector Ford replace Inigo Martinez and Jules Koundé brought into center back? Or is he going to bring in Sergio Dominguez? That's something that we're going to have to see. Hansi Flick, he talks about Ronald Araujo. He says he's doing well. I don't know when he'll be back, but he's working well. I see him happy when he comes to the locker room. It's very noticeable. We need him. He's one of our captains. And Ronald Araujo under Hansi Flick, with the way that he plays, with the high line, and especially Ronald Araujo's characteristics, being physical, being fast, being strong, and great in the transitions, he's going to just elevate this team defensively to a whole new level. And the last piece, and the last quote from Hansi Flick that I did want to talk about is in regards to Raphinha, because Flick says, I'm not surprised. He's doing his best for the team. He started off with a good dynamic, and everyone laughs a lot with him in the locker room. He does everything for the team, and that's the most important thing. And Raphinha, throughout these last couple of months and throughout these last couple of weeks, he's been growing on me, and his leadership on the pitch has been shown. And he's talked about what it means for him to wear that captain's armband. And you saw him defending Lamine Yamal, for example, in the game against Villarreal, when fouls were committed against him. He went up to the players and say, hey, whoa, like, what are you doing? And that's just Raphinha caring about Lamine Yamal and protecting the Barcelona player. And not only him, also other players as well. And Raphinha, he just has all the qualities that you would want in a Barcelona captain, and it just fills me with confidence that he is going to be, arguably Barcelona's first. No, he's going to be Barcelona's first team captain now, with Ter Stegen out and with Ronald Araujo out as well. But now, guys, we have to talk about the goalkeeping situation, because as Hansi Flick was saying, what are Barcelona going to be doing? They're going to have to discuss what they're going to do in regards to that. And a report from Cope said that Barcelona, they've already decided to sign a new goalkeeper and not wait for the winter January transfer market. And the name that is being, mentioned and is gaining some strength is that of Szczesny. Szczesny is currently retired. He is 34 years old, and Fabrizio Romano, among others, said that Barcelona, they've already approached Szczesny's agents and initiated initial conversations just to see potential terms, understand the situation. Would he be willing to come back and come back to football and out of retirement? And we do know that he has announced his retirement this past summer. But it's not only Szczesny, it's also Keylor Navas, Claudio Bravo. It's a long list of names that are being mentioned. But one of the problems with Szczesny, even though his salary wouldn't be an issue, he's liked by Robert Lewandowski and Hansi Flick, is that Szczesny, if he is to come back, he does not want to have a secondary role, and he wants to be, the starting goalkeeper. And what do you guys make of that? Because Barcelona right now, their intention is to sign a goalkeeper, but to be a substitute to Iñaki Peña and not to be a first the first choice goalkeeper, and that makes sense. You have Iñaki Peña, bringing in the secondary goalkeeper to replace him, that would absolutely blow his confidence, and that would just basically mean that you do not trust him and you do not see him in your plans. And so Barcelona right now, just to not be light on depth in case something happens to Iñaki, just like with Ter Stegen, they want to bring in the secondary goalkeeper, and they view the best option to be Szczesny. But that problem is there, in which he doesn't want to be a secondary goalkeeper. And so, looking at the whole situation, Barcelona are going to have to figure this out. And what do you guys make of that? Should Barcelona go out for Szczesny, or should they go for another goalkeeper? I know there are some people who are in favor of Keylor Navas. There's some people who are in favor of Claudio Bravo, but neither of the two options are particularly appealing to me. Keylor Navas, ex-Real Madrid player. I'm sorry, I do not want ex-Real Madrid players anywhere near us, even though the reports are saying he's doing absolutely amazing in Costa Rica. In his physical form is absolutely amazing. Claudio Bravo, though, as well, 41 years of age. Keylor Navas 37. I'm sorry, I just don't want a goalkeeper who's already over the hill. And Barcelona right now, with taking advantage of this injury, which of course is a huge blow to the club, they should be actively looking to replace Ter Stegen now, looking at the future, just thinking about, hey, what's going to be Barcelona's number one goalkeeper in the future? Who should that be? And we do know that Astralega and Kuchin are there in La Masia, but they're still too young and they're still too raw to be that first choice goalkeeper for Barcelona. And so Barcelona are going to have to, sit down, analyze their options, and debate on what to do in regards to this goalkeeping situation. But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. What are your score predictions for tomorrow's match against Getafe? I am going to be making a watch along and a post-match reaction, so make sure to tune in for that. And Szczesny gaining strength and, arguably Barcelona's number one option to replace Ter Stegen. What do you guys make of that? And as always, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Wow.